Hello, guys. Now, welcome to Monday night, a Monday night show. And listen, I smell a rat. What I mean by that, I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrency. So maybe you guys aren't interested in cryptocurrency, but some guys are really interested in it. And it's cold right now. Cryptocurrency's cold, but it's going to heat back up again. And I smell a rat in all of this. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to open up the charts right here, and this is going to help you to explain what the rat I smell. First off, let's look at some facts here. SHA-2. SHA-2, is an algorithm. It's like a train track that Bitcoin actually runs on. It was invented before Bitcoin, and guess who invented it? Says SHA-2, Secure Hash Algorithm 2, is a set of cryptographic hash functions designed by the United States National Security Agency, okay, NSA. So the NSA was the designers of the underlying track, the SHA-256, here it lists SHA-256 protocol that Bitcoin runs on. Okay, so that's what Bitcoin runs on, was designed by the National Security Agency. Now let's take a look at the next fact. This was supposed to be the inventor of Bitcoin, was a guy called Satoshi Nakamoto. And what do we have on this person? It says Satoshi Nakamoto is the name used by the unknown person, or people even, a group of people who developed Bitcoin and authored the Bitcoin white paper, created and deployed Bitcoin's original reference implementation. As part of that implementation, they also devised the first blockchain database. Okay, so we got an inventor who's not really an inventor. He's unknown person or persons who developed Bitcoin, right? It could even be a group of people, Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, we know that we just read that SHA-2, the underlying protocol Bitcoin runs on, was developed by the NSA. So I'm very suspicious here that Satoshi Nakamoto might be it's an unknown person, but who really is it? Okay, I got my suspicions. Okay, so here we got an article here that says how the NSA identified Satoshi Nakamoto. But the real truth is, Satoshi Nakamoto has never been identified. So this is linking the whole thing here to the NSA. We linked the old thing to the NSA with SHA-2. We also link it here with Satoshi Nakamoto again. They got their finger in the pie. Now let's switch to a little bit of something different here. Did the Bitcoin's inventors, Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he is, Santa Claus, he's like Santa Claus, who in the heck is he? Possibly something to do with these government agencies that really invented Bitcoin and really created the protocol Bitcoin runs on. It says, we really can't say that he is a he or a she or not even a them when they're talking about Satoshi Nakamoto. But what they can say for sure right here is he did mine to test his white paper and got about 1 million Bitcoins with the first 19,600 blocks, right? So he mined the first 19,600 blocks, and he got more or less 1 million Bitcoins. So it's very likely that these government security agencies have got 1 million Bitcoins. Now, when they were $20,000 each, that would be $20 billion. I mean, wouldn't it be? Am I figuring right? When they're $20,000 each, now the price has settled back a little bit, but it would still, I think, be 12 billion or something. It's a lot of money. Let's see, am I figuring that right? I mean, it's such amount of money. It's making my mind confused. There's so much money of this pre-mine of over 1 million Bitcoins. Here's people asking the question. It says, one guy says, I heard that Satoshi pre-mined 1 million coins before releasing Bitcoin to the public. Is this true about Satoshi? They're talking about Satoshi like he is actually a person. Show me him. If he's a person, show me him. And this guy says that maybe he deserved them. He says, if he pre-mined them, who cares? You know, that's what he says. And this guy says he deserved it. He made one of the greatest contributions to human race and freedom. He reminds me of Tesla, who tried to give free unlimited energy, this guy says. And so, if he pre-mined him, he says, who cares? Okay? So, now, these are some facts now that I've just given you. I'm going to give you some more facts. China, here, tried to kill Bitcoin. And I remember when they tried to do it, the PBOC, the People's Bank of China, came after Bitcoin, and it was merciless. And this was when they dropped Bitcoin from $1,150 all the way down to like $150. This was the work of the People's Bank of China that caused this to happen. And so they tried to destroy it. Now, this is just showing you that the People's Bank of China do not like Bitcoin. And I'm going to get to this in a minute. I'm going to start pitting these pieces. Now, I've been giving you pieces of a puzzle here, why I smell a rat. And I'm going to start pulling it together in a minute here. Now, what does the U.S. Federal Reserve think of Bitcoin? It says Yellen, that was the last chairman of the Federal Reserve, she commented on the Fed's relationship to Bitcoin. She reiterated her 2014 position that the Fed does not have the authority to regulate the cryptocurrency. On Wednesday, she confirmed that the scope of the Fed's regulatory power extends only to those banking institutions it already supervised, stating. So in other words, what the Fed's doing is they're standing back and they're saying, let this thing grow. That's basically what they're saying here. They're not trying to destroy it, like the People's Bank of China is trying to destroy it. The Federal Reserve is not. Now, these are facts that I'm laying out for you here. I'm getting to the point. Bitcoin looks more like gold than a currency. That's the title of this article in Bloomberg. So they're relating Bitcoin to gold. And here, in this article here, they admit that Litecoin is connected closely to silver, to Bitcoin's gold. Especially in the past. It says Bitcoin and Litecoin remain closely connected to each other, and they're built on similar algorithms. And I remember when it was Bitcoin and Litecoin all the way. They were the coins. Before an awful lot of these, before Ethereum even, I remember. So now I'm going to start pulling it all together for you guys. We got the NSA involved in the creation of SHA-256, the underlying protocol. Very suspicious that the NSA is not Satoshi Nakamoto himself. This is my suspicion. We see China trying to kill Bitcoin. We see the U.S. Federal Reserve, and the position of the United States government has been kind of like a stand-back position on it. That's the way they've been all along. Instead of trying to destroy it, they've been kind of standing back. Bitcoin is gold and Litecoin is silver, and we going back, that's what we find. Now we got something new here, and to enter into the equation, it's where it makes me start to smell a rat, is the Lightning Network. The Lightning Network is all of a sudden starting to be implemented, and it works great. It all seems to me like this is a coerced plan that goes all the way back to 2009. I bet you they had the Lightning Network back then, for crying out loud, the NSA or whoever devised this whole thing. They've been just playing all of us. They know what they were going to do all along. And I'll tell you where I think it all comes down to. I think it all comes down to gold. I think that they did the research. Now, the they I'm talking about is probably the intelligence community. What facets of the intelligence community, I don't know, but I'm just kind of laying out a theory here. My theory. And why I smell a rat. I think that the intelligence community is behind this whole thing, this cryptocurrencies. And I think ultimately, I think that the reason why they did it is they probably looked over and they saw China starting to accumulate massive amounts of gold, starting to hoard gold, and Russia too. And they knew that because of the financial condition that we're in, that this hoarding would continue, them continue, and they knew what China and Russia's plan was. They probably talked it over amongst themselves. Now, this is probably years ago. It's probably way back in 2005 maybe or something, way back then. They probably talked it over with themselves. They probably sat around the table together and said, hey, you know what, boys? China and Russia are accumulating gold massively, and we can't stop them. We don't have, first off, we've spent all of our money on black budget projects or whatever. We don't have any money anymore. We're basically a bankrupt country. And they're getting all the gold, and they got a plan to take us down. To take us down. So what do we do? And they all sat around a table and they said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make digital gold and digital silver. Get your best computer scientists to work on this. It's probably what they said to themselves, right? So that's probably what they did. And thus Satoshi Nakamoto was born. You know? He was a product. He had to be the guy that was going to be the fall guy. In case it all fell to pieces, they'd blame it all on Satoshi, and he doesn't even exist. Or they would find somebody, maybe take a bum off the street, pull him in, and dress him up in a suit and say, he's Satoshi. You know what I mean? And then they could prosecute him for creating mischief of this cryptocurrency if everything went wrong. So they wanted to have somebody they could blame it all on, also somebody that they could say invented it. That way it's got a traceable trail to it. So here they go. They put this thing in, and they got their digital gold, digital silver. They're going to make it worth more. The eventual plan, the outcome of the plan would be to make it worth more, the digital gold and digital silver, to make it worth more in the end than what the Chinese's real silver and real gold would be worth. And then even possibly, to use it to buy back the gold and the silver that they sold China. Buy it all back with Bitcoin. So they probably sat down and did their mining before they ever released Bitcoin and got their million or whatever, which they probably still have. And they probably already know how high Bitcoin's going to go to. It might go to $10 million a coin. Then what would their million Bitcoins be? Oh, let me see for a minute. Let me get a calculator going here for just 1 second. Okay, so if they got 1 million coins, and if the coins go to, say, $10 million each, that's a lot of zeros. What's that, $10 trillion? It's a lot. Let's just put it that way. I can't even count all the zeros. That's how much they would have. Their million Bitcoins would be worth if the Bitcoins go to like $10 million each. And it's not impossible, because there's only 20. If they make them the world's reserve currency, you know, they could go that high, for crying out loud, because all the world's value would be transferred into them, and then at that point they could buy back all of the gold and all the silver from the Chinese, and the Chinese would then have the worthless Bitcoins. What a great plan, you know. I love it. Anyway, here's the thing. So now we know. Now say the Chinese, let's just say their intelligence community was able to find out about this devious plan, the Bitcoin Litecoin. This would mean that the Chinese would hate it and try to stop it. And this is exactly what we've seen them doing. we've seen the Chinese hating it and trying to stop it here in its infancy. But now it's got kind of out of control. It's too far. I don't know if anybody could stop it at this point. So the plan seems to be working, if that's what the plan is. Now, what do we got? More to this plan is the Lightning Network. This is probably the final stages of their plan where they complete the whole thing and they pull it all together to make it a payment system for the whole world, a lightning fast payment system, with Bitcoin and Litecoin being the center of the system, because that's what it was originally designed. In other words, when these guys first designed it, they designed Bitcoin and Litecoin. Litecoin was the silver, Bitcoin was the imitation gold. They designed it, and they went with those coins, and all of these other coins popped up. Now, this is my theory on it, but all these other coins popped up as a result because it was freeware. It was the software was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like Linux, you know. It's just like the software. Anybody could download it. Anybody could make their own coin. Anybody could make their own coin. So we got all these coins popping up, all based on the original Litecoin and Bitcoin. Okay? These guys that started it all, their original base, the foundation that they were creating, the whole project that they were creating was Litecoin and Bitcoin. Now all of a sudden we're coming around full circle, and the Lightning Network is being implemented on Litecoin and Bitcoin. That makes me smell a rat. It makes me smell a rat that it's all connected to what it was connected to before. And that everything that's happened in the interim has only happened because people could download the software and work on it themselves. And they've created all these silly coins that probably are not going to be the big power coins, because the big power coins is part of this original project, possibly. Now, I've run some other theories through here. I've had other theories. I've had theories that Bitcoin was nothing more than a beta test. But it seems to me if it really was nothing more than a beta test, then they probably would have ended the beta test by now and Bitcoin would be gone. But it's not only still running, it's growing exponentially. It's running at around 43% of the network, the whole entire network. That's a lot. That's a big percentage of the value of the entire network of these coins. So I guess where I'm going with this is I have this sneaking suspicion, like I smell a rat. I smell a rat that these guys that started all this, they intend on finishing it. And they started it with Bitcoin and Litecoin, and they intend on finishing it with Bitcoin and Litecoin. This is what the rat that I'm smelling. This is the suspicion that I have. And that these other coins are just in there for the ride, but in the end it's going to be King Litecoin and King Bitcoin. This is a suspicion that I have. And these two coins, all of the world's value is going to transfer over into these two coins. And if that were to be the case, it would be absolutely massive. The amount of capital, the amount of wealth, pure unadulterated wealth, is not in the form of a coin or in the form of a dollar. This is only the way you measure wealth. Pure unadulterated wealth is the land, the houses, the cars, the people. You know? The gold, the silver. This is pure unadulterated wealth. And this is not going to disappear when the fiat currencies go down. It's going to be transferred over into something else. So the measure of that wealth could be transferred over from the fiat currencies into digital gold. And this could be the plan all along. And so it all transfers over into digital gold, and then where are the Chinese with the real gold? Well, real gold would go way up too, but it would be only worth digital gold. So the digital gold would buy the real gold. And if there's only 21 million, actually 16 million of these units of exchange of digital gold, how much real gold would you be able to buy with one of those if there's only 16 million of them to go around? And there's a lot of gold to go around. Has anybody done that, figured that number in? The amount of gold that there is out there, how many tons of gold, and how many bitcoins there are in existence, 16 million, and divide and figure out how much bitcoin per unit of gold. And I dare say that it would be a lot of gold. You'd have a lot of gold. It might be like 100 pounds of gold for one bitcoin, sort of a deal. You know what I mean? So I smell a rat in all this, and I just wanted to let you guys know where I was going with it. Thank you for listening, and I think that I'm going to stay steady on Litecoin and Bitcoin. Those are what I'm going to hammer on. I'm going to forget about these other coins. I'm just going to go with Litecoin and Bitcoin myself. And I'm going to hammer on those two coins as best I possibly can. When the price is as low as I can possibly buy them. And I'm going to go with one thing other than Litecoin and Bitcoin. I'm sticking with real physical silver too. So I've got real physical silver, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. Those are the three things I'm going with. And I'm not going to focus on all this other noise that's in the system. So thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye.